Hello, my name is BlazinZeddy, and tonight we're going to be doing a round of Shadow the Hedgehog Glitchless Expert Mode. So, there's going to be some minor changes here and there compared to what we've known from the 2022 version of this video. Haven't been doing it so much myself, but we had a tournament lately, or about a year ago, and we learned a couple new things with that, so we'll see how much of that I can bring along here. So, without further ado, let's begin this run. Alright, so if you're familiar with Shadow the Hedgehog and story runs, then you may notice that we're kind of just jumping right into Westopolis, and that's because there's no like branching paths in this mode. We're just going stage to stage to stage, completing every mission. So first thing here, we're going to take damage. This will actually unlock our ability to use light dash, so we can light dash down a little bit faster. However, I do have to wait a little bit here so that wall that I just went over won't block me. Moving on though, this is pretty much standard Westopolis gameplay. Taking out these flames for hero points, grabbing a gun. That gun's a little bit different. Normally that guy isn't there. That's another thing about Expert Mode. Things are a little bit different compared to the normal story. I'll try to make it a little bit harder, but we already know what's about to happen, so all the curveballs will be thrown at us won't be a problem. A lot more lasers here. Alright, moving on. So now that we've filled up our blue meter, we get the power of chaos control, which will let us zip on through. I'm actually going to stop it here because that will allow me to use this light dash to go really fast through. If I time this right, we can actually use the remaining chaos control to make it through that loop. Nice and fast. So I'm going to drop my gun here and pick up the Omochow gun. This is one of the secret weapons you get by playing one of the normal story modes. Thank you for locking onto him, Shadow. But Omochow gun will be nice for clearing up debris as I horribly make my way through. That area is awful sometimes. But I'm surprised with how much of a detour we took from my intended path that we ended up doing okay. So that's good. You might have noticed the gold rings are missing, and that is because they want you to play more of the stage for Expert, so they moved it back here. But this is normally where you would find a couple more enemies for the other hero dark missions, and then you'd warp backwards if you missed any. So that's stage 1. Yeah, this is your first time seeing Shadow Hedgehog. There's probably a lot going on there that you might not have seen before, but I'll try to explain those in this stage, as there's a bit here I have to explain. So this is Digital Circuit. We're on the internet, the government's internet, I believe, and we have to stay on the lanes, try to dodge the firewalls or damage boost through them. That's one thing that's a little bit different from this game compared to other Sonic games, is that we have, instead of losing all your rings, you lose only 10. So I am able to just kind of tank some of those hits and move along as fast as possible. I'm going to grab this gun here. So Shadow the Hedgehog, if you didn't already know, has guns, and that actually plays a huge role in how we go about some of these levels, because certain weapons have certain special properties, and they're very good for certain cases. For now, I just need this SMG. Don't need anything special. Yeah, 60 to 50 rings, so maybe just taking a hit, down to 40. So that's a nice bonus. So the main objective for a lot of these missions is that we're going to be going to a goal ring. It's the simplest thing that they figured out. There's a handful that they give you an objective, but it's ultimately just get from point A to point B as fast as possible, with changes to the mission and level structure to make it a little bit harder. I use my gun there to keep me from flying too high up in the air, and then I'm going to grab this egg vacuum. This is another special weapon you can unlock later on, and one of the reasons we're playing on the Japanese version right now, if you notice that, is that I can use this egg vacuum to vacuum up the black worm enemies a little bit faster, which is actually like meaningfully faster for certain stages like this one, as you saw just there. We need to get past up here. I can do this jump. Nice, that skipped a couple cycles for us, because these bars are on a timer. If I was to freeze the timer with a cheat code right now, the bars would stay in place. So, one there. So there's a worm over there I can grab real quick now because we're on Japanese. If I was on English, I would have to have jumped up into that area and wait for the guy to pop up. Yeah, that was a key door or a secret door. Sometimes they just have a little prize on the other side of the door, but in this case, in a couple of levels that we'll be using them for, there's a shortcut. So, nice and handy here. Right, just making our way through. If it wasn't obvious right now, like, I've been talking about how things have been unlocked in previous stages, and that is because this is a New Game Plus run. You can't even unlock Expert Mode without playing the majority of the game, so totally fine here. But if we had to watch cutscenes and stuff, it would be terrible because it would like double the amount of time we were playing this game. So, in general, all console Shadow the Hedgehog runs are done on New Game Plus. There we go. And now, there's one enemy over here I can grab. Okay, looks like I got my routes mixed up a little bit. This is what happens when you play all sorts of different versions of the same missions and levels. So I'm getting a Chaos Control a little too early. Hopefully I can recover this. Oh, okay, so I did not. That's okay. What I was trying to do there is I tried to actually drop my weapon, which is currently the button used to activate your Chaos Control. So, whoops. That's okay. So yeah, so when you have Chaos Control, you just gotta be a little more careful. There we go. But yeah, I got, you know what it is that I've been doing runs on English for an upcoming event that will be happening tomorrow as of this recording, but would have been long gone before you guys see this video. And because of the worm being vacuumed up sooner not being possible on the English, the routes changes a little bit, so to make it so I'm still going like decently fast. So that's what happened there. That's fine, we recovered okay. This was a bit rough here, but this shows that loops are slow and we want to skip anything we can like that. We've got the egg vacuum here. Egg vacuum is super awesome for stages where all the enemies you need to actually take out are able to be vacuumed up. If they are not, we typically use the Omochao gun, though people do like using the Omochao gun in this stage. I'm more old school and I don't don't really go for that, but so far so good. This is going to be pretty much standard Glyphic Canyon gameplay for a glitchless run, except for a few curveballs. You might have noticed one already. They took out one of the ramps, and here's the other ramp they took out, so we have to make sure we don't just run into the void. That worm I just picked up right next to the two staircases, that's another reason we play in Japanese, to get that one really fast without having to miss it. Alright, gonna do a spin dash high jump here. Or I guess it's normally a spin dash. A spin dash high jump I'll explain a little bit later. It's ultimately the same maneuver, but it's basically getting really high up with a spin dash jump by making your direction of movement up. So, gotta skip a good chunk of loop there. There's another loop thing here that I'm gonna skip like that. And now with my Chaos Control, I'm just gonna skip this whole really boring cinematic section. But I can cancel out that real quick, restart it, and skip a little bit more of the stage. So, if you haven't noticed already, Chaos Control is very important to how we go about some of these stages. Whether it's the skip slow sections or the skip tedious sections, getting Chaos Control is very, very important. It's also important that we also manage it correctly. You may have noticed that I was running past enemies and not getting every possible enemy kill I could have gotten to increase my meter, because when you have a full meter, you start using Chaos Control, and just like we saw in Digital Circuit, the timer starts and it starts going down. So very important that you route your kills and keep an eye on what you've killed and what backups you can do if you miss something. There's a whole like Excel sheet that we have that show us how to do everything. Okay, so this is the fire shield. You can see I'm just running into all these larvae and they're not dealing any damage to me, and that is because the shield here will deal 1 damage to everything that I run into. So these boxes here, out of my way. Normally they would stop me in my tracks. So very, very convenient, especially for this stage. Alright, I did miss a few kills, but that's fine. There's plenty of enemies along the way here. So like I was talking about earlier, it's important to route out where you're getting kills. Normally I would skip these guys, because that guy's a little bit... Oh, actually I'm pretty good here. I'm gonna make my way down, grab the egg vacuum, and as I run through this stage, or this section, get chaos control, skip this horizontal section, that's a bit rough. And I stopped it a bit early here, but it's okay. Yeah, now we're just zooming. That safety cone would have stopped me if I didn't have my fire shield. That's how awful some of the things are in this stage. But looking good. There's a few enemies there I vacuumed up real quick. I'm making my way down here. 2 more. That guy's gonna stay there, but that's fine. I don't need it. Alright. A couple more enemies here I'm gonna grab. And up we go. Now this section here is a little interesting. I just keep going down on the road, but you could jump off right here and you'll make your way down to this part that I'm about to go to. Right here. And I get enough hero points. Amazing. So that'll allow me to get the second vertical section here and a good chunk of this here. Ooh, I made it all the way past. That was a really good chaos control then. So this is the end of the level. There's a little jump I have to do here, but thanks to our fire shield, it's a lot easier. I can just jump. And I don't have to worry about the gates that are in the way here. They just go away. Nice and easy. Here's our goal ring. So you might have noticed a pattern with the way we're doing our levels right now. We start off with Westopolis, and if you can visualize what the level map looks like, it's you got the level Westopolis, and then the next section is like 3 stages, and then 3 stages, and so on and so forth. So we're going left to right and then up to down. So this is the 3rd stage dark mission. So we're like at the top right? Yeah, top right of the smaller or medium-sized section, and we're going to be hitting the larger section later on. So we're going to skip this whole room here by jumping down here instead of using the platform. This trigger is a little challenging. It's like it's supposed to be that ring, but it's actually like you can actually miss it if you go for the ring. So just make sure the balloon appears before you go through. I'm gonna grab a weapon here. If my torch would let me break the box. So here's the Omashao gun. We're gonna use it to get kills. Normally we would light these torches, but we have means of going around the places that the torches help us with. All nice fun. I'm actually gonna stop up here and do a spin dash across. And then I'm gonna do a spin dash jump across here. And that skips a whole section where we would have to like trigger that frame was saved so that a box would open to get us up here. But now that I'm here, we're playing the little Star Fox section with the Black Hawk, and my objective here is I'm going to want to get a few kills with the other Black Hawks flying around. So, plus the Omashao gun will help us with that. Let's see if I can get it perfect. I got pretty close to perfect, but like getting what 1750, I think it's usually good. I don't usually see a 119, so that's, or sorry, 1950. So we're doing very well for points right now. That shot just missed like crazy. Okay, good. So now we got chaos control. We're gonna zip on through here, and then we get stopped by this door. But if I do this little maneuver here, I can force myself up into like the section or like a collision box or a trigger zone and now it says, hey, if you use Chaos Control here, you get to go past the door. So I don't have to wait for the door to open, I just get to use the shortcut, which is pretty nifty. Okay, I gotta be real quick here, because thankfully there's a little bit of a cycle, so I didn't really lose time there, but if I was any slower, I would have missed that platform. So we're looking good right now. So here's some rail physics tutorial. Mash the X button if you're on GameCube, and you just do this, and you just go really fast, and then the guy that's supposed to be a challenge disappears. Just like that. Mission complete. Alright, next stage 3. That is going to be Prison Island. So Prison Island is one of the few stages in Expert Mode that's like drastically different compared to the normal stage. So, a lot more enemies here already. Normally it's just the 2 beetles, but now we have this other guy too. Because this guy shouldn't be here. Thank you very much. Alright, so step 1 is that we're gonna get a bunch of dark points to get to use that later. But we're also gonna be getting hero points when we can. There's a gate change there. And we try to get... Ooh, I got all 3. Nice. You don't always get all 3. There's plenty of enemies, so it doesn't matter if you get every single one. But the more you get early on, the less you have to worry about later. Okay. We're gonna grab the Oma shotgun here. Once again, super helpful gun with its ability to just bounce around everywhere. Like so. Especially helpful for the larvae I'm about to kill. And I can safely do this jump pad here. Okay. Yeah, so boom. And just like 80 kills or something right off the bat. Alright, we're gonna use Chaos Control here. Let's skip some more of this platforming. I'm gonna stop here because there's actually a zone blocker where I'd get stuck here if I didn't kill those 3 enemies that we saw in that room just now. Alright, and because I had Chaos Control through one section, it's just carrying me on. So, well-timed and well-used Chaos Controls is pretty important for the Expert Mode route. Or just any of the routes for Shadow speedrunning. Okay, so we got like a full dark meter right now, and that's going to be very helpful. I don't know if I had a chance to explain why I care about having a full meter, or just like some of the extra perks you get from having a dark or a hero meter. So I guess I'll do that now. You might have noticed that I'm invincible, and I'm just mashing my bullets everywhere. So, invincibility, infinite ammo, and then the extra perk of being able to use a chaos power-up. So in the case of hero mode, that's Chaos Control, and in dark there's a nuke option called Chaos Blast, which we'll use later on this run, but it's for the most part very not helpful because you just stand still, and that's not fast unless you use for a particular case. So, looking good. Alrighty, Circus Park. This is where that damned 4th emerald is. Unfortunately, we don't get the cutscene, so I can't show it. Would love to otherwise. Oh, there's a few rings there, but that's fine. That's not the mission. The mission is to go fast. Alright, I'm gonna grab your gun. This is gonna be a spin dash high jump, which wasn't very high, but we got a very convenient platform drum thing that they have, elevator. So, no issues getting through. Grab that shield, just for a little bit of extra safety. But we're gonna grab the egg vacuum. Grab a few more enemies. So this stage is one of the few stages that there's a faster way of doing this, and I need to relearn it apparently because I did not do it just there. So that will be something to see later. For now, though, as I was saying, there is a very hard section in this version of the expert mode, or the expert mode version of the stage, so we will be using our chaos control to get past that. Alright, I'm gonna grab this guy here. Okay, we're fine now on points. I'll go over him. There's a few guys. A few more guys over here. And with them, I'm able to skip the section I talked about. We'll see it on like the bottom section here, right about here. Yeah, that whole platforming section is not fun. So, use chaos control to get past it. So now we just have to do the rest of the stage. Something that's going to be coming up here is a little bit of a faster skip maneuver for this tent house. It's going to look like I'm clipping out of bounds, but it's actually, like, we looked at it and it's found that, okay, in that case I didn't go out of bounds, but, or I wouldn't have gone out of bounds, but it didn't look like I went out of bounds. But basically, like, there's a tent-shaped collision and a tent-shaped object, but they're not quite lined up. So it's all good if you do that. So yeah, making our way past here and into the goal ring. So that's the end of the stage 3s. Moving on to the stage 4s. Alright, Central City. So this stage doesn't actually have like a end per se, because it's both of the mission objectives are like not get to a goal ring. So it's more about, do you destroy big bombs or small bombs? So in this case, they're utilizing the big bomb objective. I think my other gun clipped out of bounds, so that's fun. I'll just deal some extra damage with my, okay, all of my ammo there. We'll get more ammo, but I definitely wanted a gun still. Yeah, you have a gun, give me your gun. Okay. Making my way through now. That's 2 of the 5 bombs taken out. So here's the part I was talking about earlier, where getting Dark Shadow and then using Chaos Blast is a little faster. So, enemies are falling off screen, I'm just shooting them down as they land. Good. 2 of them are flying from above, there's another 2 flying from above that my blast will hit. And then blow up the bomb. Now we don't want this gun, we want a different gun, so I'm going to grab the Shadow Rifle here. This is the most powerful gun in the game. It melts basically everything. Anything that walks on the ground, or is like a typical enemy, it's a one-hit kill. Some of the like major objectives, like the tank or the egg balloon, they take a couple more hits, but they melt real quick. This is a weapon you get by completing the last story, so fun times. I'm gonna do a spin dash jump here to get over this wall and make my way over to what would normally be the last objective. Didn't quite get that jump. Let me try that one again. There we go. There's a spring there. I'm gonna dodge it though, because it just sends us to that spring anyways. So no point in getting flung in the air only to take a slow fall down to the spring we have to hit anyways. Alright, so now we have here Shadow. I can just kind of mash everywhere. I definitely don't want to use the Chaos Control power though. So we're just gonna make our way to the 4th bomb, which is actually our last bomb. Take care of that. Alright, next stage here is the Doom. The Doom is pretty famous for having a giant door that seemingly is like blocking everything. when you get into the end fast, but it's actually pretty easy to get past. So we'll be grabbing some flame points here. Those give us a decent chunk of hero points. Looking good. I'm gonna grab the heal cannon. This is his first appearance. Heal cannons will give you hero points when you use them on your allies. So I'm gonna do that here and here. And now, as I'm close to the door, I just have to go past it with my chaos control. So nice and easy and fast there. Got enough power to get going. Now the mission objective here is to get all the scientists that are hiding around the place and heal them all. So, as a bit of a troll, a bit of a troll that I did to myself. I should have, instead of just walking through the flames at the very end there, I should have done a dash. That's fine. Yeah, here they are, all the scientists. So, imagine I got all the way up there and did that immediately instead of falling down and going back up. But yeah, they played a little trick on you. Like, where's all the scientists? They were everywhere before. Where are they now? And now they're at the very end, where there was never a scientist in the first place. Alright, Sky Troops. This one's pretty straightforward. We, just get to the goal ring. It's in the same spot as before. And they do change things up a little bit, but not really enough to slow us down at all compared to the normal variant. I'm gonna grab the shadow rifle here and take out the black oak, the big old tall giant one. And now we're in this section, so bam, 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 bam. Ah. Almost got through the door. Yeah, so this section is a little bit different. But it's not really much of a challenge, it's more just is different. Good. So there's another light ring here instead of a rocket or a ramp. Okay, looking good. Mash these guys so that's decently fast and they can just conserve on ammo. Do some. I wasn't out of the range of the larva, or I was, and the game just didn't update who I would attack if I pressed the A button. This loop's a little bit hard to skip, so we just don't. It's decently fast, not trying to. So, looking good. And one last alien kill there, and I have chaos control to skip this whole section coming up here. Cool. Let's see if I can get this one. Nope. Didn't quite get the momentum there, so we will be attempting to jump up here as fast as we can. There's a method where we get like a lot of speed and we can jump past all that and get to the lower part of that by a descent I did. Alright, now we're down here, gonna grab a few more kills. A few more here. I do have to be careful, I don't want to be missing shots if possible, because every shot matters. Those guys had shields which would block my shot, so important that I did not shoot them. But yeah, I got 5 bullets and 3 guys to kill. 3. Now, I got chaos control. I did jump into the void. That's actually very important, because if you tried to use chaos control before jumping into the void, you just get stuck by where the black hawk is, because it wants you to do another, like, Star Foxy fly session like we saw in Cryptic Castle earlier. Yeah, that's the level. Into the goal ring we go. Next stage is Mad Matrix. Thankfully, we do not have to do the Dark Mission. So I honestly don't... That would probably be easier, or at least more consistent. Assuming they didn't change it up completely. But in this case, we just need to do the hero mission, which is hit all the terminal points. There we go. So just like with Digital Circuit, we're in an internet. In this case, the Eggman's internet. Just barely missed that one. It's fine. Making our way through here. This camera is awful, but if you practice enough without having to adjust for it, you should do a pretty good job. So let's just solve this puzzle here, and then we can make it through the gate as intended. The fastest way is to not do any of that, and instead just jump really high up through the wall. There's just no collision higher the higher you go. So, unfortunately, this is a glitchless run. We are not allowed to do that. But as you saw, it's not that much of a time loss. So yeah, we activated the blue tower. We're going to the yellow tower now. It may look orange, it's yellow. I'm pretty sure the dialogue says so. I keep forgetting, but I also don't pay attention to the dialogue. I'm too busy trying to go fast. Alright, so now we just solve this puzzle. Thankfully, the puzzle doesn't have to match the color of the tower. So I can just go through. So as you saw, I got the heal cannon, and I'll be healing all these egg pawns as I go. You didn't see me get that one, but the blast radius was enough to get both. And as you can see here, you don't even have to hit all the tiles. It's just that when colors change and they're all the same, then you get the color of the puzzle. So I'm gonna heal this guy, and I'm gonna wait for the black worm there to come up before I heal the other one. That will pacify the black worm and make it so it's not shooting 80 missiles at me as I'm trying to go up this section here. There is a like spin dash high jump maneuver you can do off of the, like, if you can believe it, off of these seemingly flat panels, and it's awful, and it's like a run killer. So I will never be doing that in like a serious run, like where I can't afford to just reset. Maybe someday when I get better. But for now, no need to worry about that. Fun fact, I can hold the R button here and I get to lock the camera in place. Might have a little bit of flag, I don't know, honestly. Haven't put it up to the frame rate tester. Something to try out later. And now we're at Red Tower. If this was a normal mission objective, this is where the disc, or sorry, not disc, this is where the goal ring would be. Oh. I get that. And one thing you might have noticed just now, or as before, I forget how long I've been doing this, but holding the R button is a strafe button, so you can aim a lot better if you, because your gun's just pointing in one direction, and you can pivot around to where you need to go. So, definitely super helpful for weapons like this heal cannon or a grenade launcher. Fun stuff. So, objective here is going to be to get this. There's the red terminal, and out we go. One last tower, and this is the tower we've been preparing for this whole run, because the green tower has like 3 super long and difficult auto-scrolling sections, especially if you don't know how to aim with the gun and like the strafing. But if you get chaos control right before it all, you can just skip it. So that's what we're planning to do here. Making our way through. Up. I almost got past that. Oh well. Okay. Making our way through now. There's 2 egg pawns. Past this wall. I'm gonna shoot one and the other. Chaos control. And if I'm gonna stop chaos control here. Make sure I can get past here. And that allows me to get all the way past the third auto-scrolling. And then we just solve this final puzzle and make our way to the green terminal. And like that, we're done. Alright. Here comes the last of the stage 4s, Death Ruins. So this one's pretty straightforward, get to the end. But we get to see some cool mechanics along the way. So there's these like rubber band things that I can jump off early. And then there's another one of those alien rails I get to go up. If I had done that a little bit more optimal, I could have done a little maneuver where I got up on the rail a little bit early and I'm still able to make my way up. Everything I need to kill can be killed with the egg vacuum, so I am using the egg vacuum. Ugh. 33, that could definitely have been better. But I try to aim for at least 30 seconds, if not lower. So yeah, we keep running our way down. Thankfully we don't have to kill all of the aliens, so I can skip the guys over here. And in fact, like I've been saying before, there's an optimal point to get for Chaos Control. And I'm gonna do that just past this section here, making sure I don't accidentally run into any of the larvae. Alright, 3 guys here, using Chaos Control, so as I'm flying through, I'm dealing damage everywhere, and I'm just keep refilling my hero points. You can kind of see the gauge goes back up and down a bunch. So we're pretty much done with the stage. Just skip these loops. Just like that. With that, we're done. Definitely noticed there, I paused right after that Chaos Control. The whole area was black. It was going too fast and the level wasn't loaded yet, so pausing and unpausing there allows the game to actually think faster and load things in, but also it freezes our game timer so that when we're trying to calculate by the in-game time to keep things as fair as possible, we don't lose out any time just sitting in the air. I believe the majority of time on like Xbox, you would not have to do that. So, totally fine and fair. Alright, so this is the arc, this is the relaxation level. We just have to get to the end and we're basically on an auto-scroller. There's a little bit of skill in terms of like dodging the very big things that are easy to get around. And then there's these dash pads that we'll be seeing here. There's usually a series of 3. And so long as we get all 3, especially the last one, we get to just keep going as fast as we can. So this would be the point if this was like a marathon or something. This is where you read through donations, you make any announcements. There's not much to explain here, other than the thing that I am on is a Black Bolt, which has missiles instead of the Black Hawk. So, if you want to have a little bit of fun, and you don't think it's going to lag the game and ruin your RTA time, just go fire away. We are not planning to get off of this thing until the very end of the stage. Something you might have noticed about the stage, that it's basically a one-to-one recreation of Final Rush from Sonic Adventure, or Sonic Adventure 2. Even the theme music is a little bit reminiscent of it. And yeah, just a fun little nod back to Shadow's initial game. So I got that one. That one's a little bit tricky because that platform I went by just now can usually run into it if you're not really precise with how you hit the first of the dash pads there. Alrighty. Mission complete. Alright, next stage here is Air Fleet. So this is one of those stages that has like a bit of variation in how it's laid out, depending on what mission you want to complete. And in this case, I blocked off from the path, so it's a pretty linear stage this time around. So, just gonna be running as fast as you can. And of course, getting powerful weapons to get chaos control as fast as possible. There's like a really optimal way to get past those doors, but I never quite figured it out myself, and I just found, for consistency's sake, it's just easier to do a little hop right before the door can open. I do want to be careful here. I don't want to get hero point or hero chaos control now. We're gonna wait until I get some extra ammo. Safety checkpoint. And then we make our way into here. Now we use chaos control to get past this room. Stop real quick here to make it past this rail, and then I can do it one more time to make my way, decent way into this room. Take out that guy and that guy, and we're on. Normally we'd go down the hero path, but that's blocked off now, so we're gonna go take out gun soldiers in the gun section. This one's a little bit more difficult compared to the other section because of the gaps in the floor. That bullet almost got me too, so that was a little scary. But all is well. Get the safety checkpoint here, and we're going to make our way through these rails real fast by charging a spin dash right before we land on it, carrying our momentum all the way through. And then we gotta wait for this fan section. We used our chaos control earlier to skip a lot of those. And then once I'm out of Dark Shadow, I can take out these Black Cloaks. When you're in one or the other modes of Shadow, you can't get points for the other. So because I was in Dark Shadow, I would only have been able to get Dark points and not Hero points. So we had to wait it out. Now that I got full Hero meter, I can just chaos control my way past this long vertical section. And into the goal we go. Alright, it's Iron Jungle. This one's very straightforward. It's not that different from normal gameplay. They do change it up a bit. So like here, you would just fly off the ledge if you weren't expecting the ramp to not be there. But surprise, surprise, we're just getting hero points and gonna use chaos control in an opportune time. But they do want us to take a higher path here compared to the normal straight across, but with a nice timed jump, we can skip that. And we don't get dash pads here, but that's fine. We're still going decently fast. Going through here, I'm taking out the shadow or the gun beetles just so they're not shooting at me. And then we're just gonna get hero points here. And immediately upon knowing I got a full meter, I need to be pressing that chaos control button so I can make it past this part. If you don't do that, then you will not make it past that part. It's very tight. But if that was to happen, what you can do is kind of stop your chaos control, start it up again, and somehow you get like a free take of gas. It lets you go a little bit further. So it's used a lot whenever it's most optimal to do so, or if mistakes are made. So we might see that later on, but for now we're just running through as fast as we can. And mission complete. Oh, there's a key over there. This file must not have all the keys unlocked. I've had many files over the years, so you don't always need the keys. So, especially for this stage, I don't even know what do you even get behind the door. No, you get like giant tank turrets or something, which is not really useful. So that's why I didn't get it. All right. Moving on now to Space Gadget. This is normally a race between Sonic and Shadow on the Ark to wherever the castle world is, but that's not here now. We're just running through as fast as we can. We're gonna do a couple maneuvers here, like skipping that ramp, doing a spin dash, pass everything down to here. I didn't make it. Did I get the checkpoint at least? Yes. Awesome. I didn't charge up nearly long enough there. And this, okay, yeah, that's why we skipped the ramp. And up. Okay. I got a little too close to the edge. Let's try again. And this is why making sure we get enough lives is important. Okay, we made that one. That's good. Yeah, getting lives is important because with Expert Mode, you run out of lives, you're done. You just have to start from Westopolis. There's a way to kind of like prolong that from happening by like restarting the console before you run out of lives and starting back at your previous save with a lot of lives. Ideally, I don't have to do that. I'm supposed to be an expert, right? So, ooh, I do not like how that worked, but it worked. So I'm gonna be using Chaos Control here. There's an orb that I grabbed that gave me instant Chaos Control, and there was a bit of a maneuver there I did. I don't really have time to explain it now, but basically it allowed me to actually like see what I was doing by like holding the strike button and guaranteeing that I got it. And story for another time in another category where it makes a lot more sense to explain that, but yeah, just gonna make our way to the end now. Do some jumps, skip harder sections. Let's see, can I get the last bat? No. Sometimes, well, a decent amount of the time I get the last bat. Okay, here's a shortcut. There's a whole rail section that's pretty cool, but it takes longer than this, so we do this. Okay. So, assuming that this was a deathless attempt, that time is decent, but this was not a deathless attempt, so unfortunate. Thankfully, we got the checkpoint, and we were able to recover really fast there. Alright, Lost Impact, everyone's favorite stage, because it has everybody's best friends, the Artificial Chaos. Thankfully, we do not have to worry about them, and quite frankly, we're just running through the stage as fast as possible. There was a time where I would go around getting Chaos Control, and we timed it against running just straight through it, and it turns out this is faster. It's not always fast to be grinding for hero points. Because, like, you think that grabbing hero points... Oh, please let me on. Thank you. You think that grabbing hero points and be able to use a Chaos Control skip a huge chunk of the stage would be fast, but it ends up not being fast. And you take too much time to do that, compared to just running through. Please open the door. That was the longest door loading sequence I've ever seen. Jeez. But yeah, like imagine me trying to stop every once in a while to be able to get Chaos Control. Oh, be on. And then if I was going for Chaos Control, I would be killing that guy last, and that would allow me to have Chaos Control to skip this whole section here, but yeah, just well-timed shots. Don't have to worry about anything. Working well. So if we were doing, oops, I need to hit that switch, thank you very much. If we were doing the normal stage, the goal room would be right at the door to the right, but they moved it to the next room here. So we'll be going that way. Another fun fact, if we were doing the glitched allowed categories where we'd go out of bounds, we would basically be going from that first room into this hallway with an out of bounds trick, and then basically right into this goal ring. So it's a fun time. Pretty neat and cool looking trick. And we're done. That's the last of the stage 5s. We are now moving on to the stage 6s. Alright, first one is Gun Fortress. This is the one you would go to if you were being a bad boy and hurting people a lot. So, yeah, so we're just going to be running through the sides here because that's where there's no enemies to get in our way. We don't need to kill anybody right now, so just make our way past that real quick. You gotta be careful here. This is one of those curveballs they throw where they just make the difficulty spike like high because that's normally just a normal hallway, and they decided to put giant holes, so that would like take a life away pretty easily. Right, so now that we're through that, I'm going to do a spin dash high jump here off of the rail, just like that, and make it through this first security section. Easy peasy. I'm going to grab the shadow rifle here. This is not necessarily required. There's other weapons you can choose, and you don't necessarily need Dark Shadow to go fast, but I like having the peace of mind of not having to worry about it. So I go for the shadow rifle. I do this jump just right. Yep, I can skip the in the air section you see here. So nice little speed up. And if I do this jump just right, nope, not quite. So I guess we decided to take the more normal way, but if I had done that jump just right, you would have gotten up to here pretty instantly. And even if I didn't make it all the way up, I could have used like another quick jump to make my way up there faster, but I landed on the rail, so we went on our little journey. Yeah, so now that I have Dark Shadow, I don't have to worry about any of these lasers. I can now mash my way through all of these enemies in my way. Let's see if I can get this. Yes, so that was a nice timed light dash to get past the door before it closed. And then I can just work all the other doors that were already closed. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. Gonna make my way here. Can I keep the momentum? Yes! Sometimes you do that and you just come to a halt, because whatever calculation it does fails, so looking good. This section here is going to be a little bit challenging, but I have a little method where I kill that guy, hold the joystick, kill these two, keep holding the joystick, and I'm able to just get through there fairly consistently. I don't know if that's like the fastest way, it's probably not, but when it comes to speedrunning, like being the fastest, yes. Being the fastest the most, it's a little more important sometimes, especially if you're like practicing for a race. If you know how to do the fastest things, but you failed them like 9 out of 10 times, like you're gonna lose all the time. So definitely go for consistency with slower things before you go for consistency with faster things. If you're not able to get, like, definitely try to do the faster things, but if you're finding them hard to do, you should take a step back and try doing things a little slower but more consistent. It's a lot more fun to play speedruns when you're actually finishing runs, right? Alright, so we got a heal cannon here. I'm going to be healing these gun units in this first section. Making my way down. There's a few more to get. One more. Okay. Do a spin dash to get past that section. Grab myself a shadow rifle. Couple more spin dashes to just skip sections that would normally take a little bit longer. Let's see if I can get the spin dash high jump. Very nice. Don't have to worry about those elevators. And we're moving on. We're getting back on this air saucer. And there's a couple worms I can destroy for points. Points are great. Yeah. I can probably explain a bit about the points now, since there's not a whole lot going on besides chaos control and running. The meter needs to be full to get chaos control. You might think that you could use the score to figure out where you are, or how far along you are on the meter. But that's not quite enough. You can do that. I'm gonna make sure I land on one of these. That was kind of sketch. But you might have noticed, if you've been paying attention during the run to that meter, that my points were all over the place when it came to when I got my chaos control. I'm actually gonna do a quick skipping maneuver here, just like that. Alright, and then this next section here is going to be basically taking out a bunch of enemies to get chaos control again. But as I was saying, so you want to be paying attention to who you kill, because they give different amounts of points depending on who you kill. They sometimes line up for the amount of meter you get per kill, but it's going to be inconsistent. So it's less about what you kill and, or no, how am I trying to say this? I'm trying to play and explain really technical concepts. It's not fun sometimes. But yeah, like basically, like let's say for Westopolis, I know if I get like a 1600 or 1700 score, then I know pretty much what my meter is at, because I know what enemies I am killing, I know how many points they give me. That was a little bit of a close and scary one. Now we can make it pass here, and use chaos control to get past here. But yeah, like you can use it to keep track of like how many enemies you've killed and what those translate to points. You gotta do a bit of math, but it becomes a second thought after a while. One last final hallway here. A fun fact about this hallway, a few other runners have found that you can actually jump up to this higher section there with the air saucer, run down a lot faster, and get over to the goal ring decently fast. I have not done a direct timing of that yet, and I haven't gotten good at that yet, so I'm obviously not doing that now because the stage is over, but that's something to look forward to in other runs moving forward. Alright, Black Comet done. Lava Shelter. So this stage is pretty similar to how you would see it in the normal story. However, they do add a little bit of a change. They put the goal ring in the dark section. And they put egg pawns with bazookas in front of all the generators. And if you recall from the dark mission for story mode, destroying the generators makes the lava go up. So it's basically a guarantee that we have to deal with lava everywhere. Or lava magma, according to Eggman. Alright, I'm gonna grab a egg back in here. Yep, there he is. Just did the thing. Now I gotta do a jump like this to get through. And getting those kills might have messed up my meter. So, just gonna be paying a little bit more attention. It's not the end of the world if I get chaos control a little too early. Way too early will be a problem. But ooh, that could have been bad. I don't normally jump off like that. Usually I'm pretty safely on the ledge. Okay, so basically at this point I'm not going to be getting any unnecessary kills, because I have a decent idea of how many, or which enemies coming up here will trigger the meter, just from experience. I'm going to ignore you. I'm ignoring you guys for sure. And I know there's plenty of enemies here to get my hero meter to full, and then I can use chaos control in this void area to just skip everything here. We definitely want to skip this section because that's a big old obstacle course and very, very long. Not fun, or I guess fun depending on how you look at it, but it's not fun as a speedrunner because it's slow. Alright, so if this is a live stream and this is a point in which you have emotes with chows, this is when you spam them because of the voice line we are about to hear. Alright, so that was Good Luck Shadow in Chow, if you were curious. So a few things just happened there. You might have noticed I landed on an invisible platform, and that is because that's a platform that's actually supposed to like go rescue you if you fail to do the section that we skipped. So we were able to do a real-time jump to get past that. You may have also noticed that I grabbed the satellite laser special weapon, and that is going to be useful for hitting a switch a little bit faster than normal. But it's not required. It's definitely just, I mean, I guess required if you want to get record runs, but not required if you just want to get to the end. Alright. There's going to be a Chaos Orb here like we saw earlier. Do this jump maneuver. I believe that was something I kind of worked on to see if I could beat the lever, but I never really do so. But use Chaos Control here to skip this whole bottom section. And now here comes the risky jump, or a risky spin dash. Land on the top of this, and now we're through. A little maneuver I invented to get through here fast. I'm going to take a little bit of a safer route to this bottom section, which, please, oh my, the camera was not changing fast enough, probably because I wasn't directly above it. Thank God we grabbed that. That would have been embarrassing. Alright, so I hit the switch with the satellite laser. Now I can use all these light rails everywhere instead of waiting for the door to open. And now I don't have to do a lot of platforming in this next section because these light ring paths are lifesavers from having to do all that. You just get to go. Oh, you for real? Are you? Tell me I hit the checkpoint. Oh, there's a checkpoint that was that's so lame. I'll explain a bit more as we get close again. Jeez, that was awful. So right here, there is a checkpoint. I probably, yeah, they're just behind me. So barely missed that. And then pressing X on the liquid makes you go up the liquid, but if you're not on the liquid, you don't get to go through the liquid. And now we have to wait because these platforms are in the way. And if I try to go too early, they will stop you and kill you. So there, those are all the things that can go wrong in the stage. Alright, this is the computer room. This is where the meme is. We found it. There it is. And oh my god, if I jumped off the ledge again, I was gonna be... Okay, 2 more stages. We're almost done. 2 more stages. Alright, final haunt. The last of the stage 6s. This is where you go if you've been a good boy. Yeah, this is gonna be pretty much the same as all the other ends. This first section here, I'm just gonna worry about getting Chaos Control. Using the Shadow Rifle here. Just like that. Jumping past there, using the geometry. We're gonna be doing that again in a moment. Make sure we get the assassin kill. Land on that to get some height. Alright, looking good. There's no switches to worry about. Just need to go forward. Up here, I'm gonna wait till I get past the rings and restart Chaos Control. Get that little bit of extra gas like I was talking about earlier and allow me to get through this section. Alright. So, 1, 2, 3. Yep, okay, this is what I was afraid of. Those guys, there's a little bit of a bug there in the newer versions of this, and they multiply there incorrectly. So, never will I be able to go through that section on a version of the game I want to actually play. because this version has some niceties that make it a little bit faster to play. But every one of those versions have this bug. Please get that, thank God. We're gonna jump around like that instead. And then use this as a way to get up. And then please do not die here. I want to keep all my points. Thank you. Alright, making our way down. Let's see if we can get this maneuver. So I'm gonna open. Okay, we did not get the maneuver. Please open the door. Please open the door. Oh, okay, it wasn't as parallel to it as I thought. There's a little like spin dash maneuver there that I've discovered that lets you go past the lasers real fast once they start opening up. But obviously that didn't happen. Getting chaos control to skip all this. And from here on out, this run is basically over. We're just running to the end. The next section, or the next stage, is fairly straightforward. Anything that could be a challenge is now over. Gotta do a little bit more running to get to the end. To do this jump just right. It's going to go through that door real fast. Then bumping into it. And now we're at the end. Alright, last mission is the last way. This is the mission you unlock when you complete, or this is the mission you get to play when you play the last story. And fun fact, you can actually unlock Expert Mode before you complete last story. So this could be your first time playing it, if you decided to do it that way. Wouldn't recommend it because you wouldn't have the shadow rifle, but you can do it. Alright, moving on through now. I'm gonna slide here. Don't hurt me, thank you. I'm gonna grab myself a shadow rifle. And now we're gonna head to the secret door. This secret door contains a, oh, really? They tracked me that far? Wow. It has a portal. It makes me go, like, more than halfway through the stage, which is pretty neat. There's also a hole in the ceiling to that room, so if you don't have the keys, you can just kind of jump into the hole and then go through the portal. Not as fast, it's just waiting. So, you should just wait. Assuming you have the keys. Alright, making our way through. Now we're here. Make sure I do my jumps just right. Okay, we did get a kill there, so that might mess up my kill count. I'm going to try to get 10 of the assassins, or at least 9, and hope that I don't go over, because going over would be bad. Yeah, this is fine. Up the wall, shadow. So over here, I want to shoot and immediately use chaos control, and that will allow me to get past the section right here. And now we just run to the end. This is the end of the run. Getting ready on time when I hit the next goal ring. Oh, that's unfortunate. Ready. Time is now. Alright, so that is Shadow the Hedgehog Expert Mode Glitchless 2023 edition. Hopefully I got to show off some of the new things that we did. I know I missed at least one in Circus Park. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Really looking forward to showing this off a few more times and maybe getting into the big event. And yeah. If you're not already, follow me on Twitch because that's where I do all my main stuff. And there's some pretty exciting stuff happening in the world of Shadow. So, yeah. Thank you for watching again, and I will catch you guys later.